I value health as super important. I feel like a lot of people don't, and especially with our healthcare program, they expect a lot of things for free.
He's like, no, you're worth this. We have to do this.
It's hard to say what the numbers actually are, but I would say it's we were so off base in the cost benefit when we started. You are cheap compared to what we've experienced.
Well, I think like everybody else, you kind of worry about, well, how much does it cost?
Mm-hmm.
And is this really going to work? Well, going to the doctor doesn't work. They don't get to know you. They don't get to know what's going on with you, and they don't give you numbers and things that work just for you. And so when you realize that the cost is well worth it, because my life's worth it, your life's worth it, everybody's life is worth it. So what do you got to lose? Go out there and try it. There's no other program out there like it. There just isn't. I know other people that have gone through similar programs and don't have all the same components. It just don't. And you got to have all of it. You got to have the complete circle in order to make it work.
Probably the financial piece, but not even fully believing that it could work. Because if you believe that it can work, then the money is, sort of like a no-brainer, like if it's a difference between, not being able to get out of bed and living life again, like you'll find the funds. I was going over my bank statement from the last however many months of all the doctor's visits, scans. I mean, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I wasted. I could have just taken care of it doing this program. I'm like, why did I have to know that badly? And, at the end of the road, I never found an answer anyway. So
one of the biggest hesitation was it was something different. It was an online program that I had never heard of. I had probably would have never even considered. So I was very hesitant, but I was determined to find a solution. And I did my research. I joined the program, went through a whole bunch of modules. I was quite the stalker. Some videos I think I even read or watched 2 or 3 times just to make sure that I was really understanding this and there really was an outcome that can come from it.
To be honest, just investing in myself. The investment, because I told my husband, like, well, what if we can't do this, as far as finances? He's like, no, you're worth this. We have to do this. And it showed me where my mentality was too. And that's what I love about your program too, is the mindset, changing our mindset that we're worth investing in ourselves, no matter what the price is, because there's no price for health.
This is the right question, Maggie. So Maggie, you're really expensive. At least that's where I was a year ago. And we had done all of our work and we had spent, lots of time and effort and studied this problem. And like I said, we are data-driven, scientific-minded types. And I sat down and talked to my wife about it. And I said, I feel like we're going to spend all this money and we're going to come out the backside of this program and have been taught everything that we thought we already knew. And so I would say this, if I'm being honest, you did tell us a lot of things that we thought we already knew, but what you brought with it was an expert opinion that came with lots of experience and a partnership that helped us really understand how to apply what we had read in a more consistent way, and then sort of came alongside us as a friend. And I think, when I talked to my wife about this, even a few weeks ago, one of the things that we talked about in depth was there's absolutely zero question that Dr. Maggie has the purest of motives and is in this to help people. And yeah, you run a business, but at the end of the day, the impact on my family's future, the cost benefit isn't even worth talking about anymore. In fact, I'd go further and I'd say, if I was, the question of who you might recommend this to, I'd recommend this to anybody. I don't care if you have autoimmune situation or not, this program is a handbook on how to design a lifestyle that is pro good life. It's pro longevity. It's pro like live into your 90s and be that, you know, lady dancing on the dance floor with your buddies, right? It's a lifestyle that keeps you out of the diseases of age and everything else. And this program centers around, again, that what's the functional outcome you want. And so, you know, autoimmune or not, this is one of those programs that I think everyone could benefit from, no matter the price. Here's the honest truth. This is the honest truth. We went the entire year without having to take my little girl to the doctor. So I have no reason to expect that won't continue. What we have bought has been food and a handful of vitamins for her. Nothing more than tens of dollars a month. And when I talk to people who I know, and I can tell you that she had, you know, a couple of procedures before the age of 1. We were seeing a doctor a quarter minimum. And where it was headed was, you know, when we came to you, the recommendations were more scopes, more procedures. And so it's hard to say what the numbers actually are, but I would say we were so off base in the cost benefit when we started. You are cheap compared to what we've experienced.
I mean, the biggest reason was probably just financial strain, because I looked, my income has changed quite a bit from what it used to be. So it was a financial strain, but the more I looked at it, it's like, you know, this is something I have to do. One way or another, I have to do this. So we made some additional sacrifices and did the program. You know, if I'd had this program 5 years ago, you know, I wouldn't even thought about it. You know, I just wrote the check. Today, things are a little bit different.
I think the biggest thing is until I really started listening to some of your other recordings in the group that I had access to. It wasn't the personal group, but I finally started realizing how much of a role that vitamins and food were going to play. Because I thought, well, I really wasn't thinking about that being part of it. I thought, well, what other than support, what could you offer? So going through some of your videos now and listening to some of your things on Facebook, I realized, wow, it's totally different than is going to realize until they start listening to you. So,
well, I would have joined it as soon as I saw your first infomercial, but you know, it's the price. You know, you have to find a way. And it wasn't that I thought it was too much. It was just, you know, how am I gonna find the way to afford it? But you know, I figured it out. So as soon as I did, I tried to sign up as fast as I could. I value health as super important. I feel like a lot of people don't, and especially with our healthcare program, they expect a lot of things for free. And I think health is an investment. So I knew that was something that I needed and I deserved, because if I'm not okay, then I can't be okay for my family, and that's important to me. So